Why is salary supposed to be confidential? So you won't ask for a raise, it's propaganda. Legally it's not supposed to be confidential. The only people who try to claim it's supposed to be confidential are the employers who want to maintain power over the workforce. It only is when a company has something to hide from its workers. Because you are not supposed to know that new guy has higher salary than you working there for 10 years. To exploit the ones being underpaid. I work in HR. Every single time you are told by a manager or superior or HR to not discuss your salary, you absolutely should discuss your salary. So workers who work for a long time in the same company do not get jealous when the new one earns more, because the market price of a worker changed over time. If you're in the US, it's federally illegal to tell someone they can't discuss their salary. The only reason ever to not talk about how much you make is because they're stealing wages from someone, either you or them. And they don't want anyone finding out, because if we all know how much everyone makes, we can better negotiate for ourselves, and they do not want that. They want to pay you and them the least amount possible, and they don't want y'all finding out about it. So they can hire new staff for more than the loyal staff working for them for years. It's a wage suppression tactic. If no one knows how much anybody else makes, it's easier to manipulate employees when it comes to salary determinations. Knowledge is power. Because it favors your boss to have ignorant people about salaries. So the higher-ups can't be held accountable for paying one person higher than the other instead of paying everyone an equal living wage. It's not. You're absolutely allowed to discuss salary. Most employers will tell you it's against policy blah blah, but it boils down to what the laws are in your city, state. I went through this with an employer because they were paying new hires more than seasoned employees so that they could get people hired and entice them to stay. In many cases the employer was paying $3+ more an hour, and the new hires were making more than the leads and hourly supervisors. The company tried to tell everyone they couldn't talk about their pay because people were asking for raises by saying, Joe is a new hire and makes XX an hour starting, and I haven't had a raise yet and I make XX an hour. HR then threatened all of us with termination if they talked about it. To which I informed them that per XX state law they can't tell us not to disclose our wages. But a company can require that we don't do it on company time. Basically save it for lunch breaks. Because not discussing it is a form of control. So a lot of places in the US try to say it's against policy. But it's not illegal, and in fact it needs to be discussed most of the time. So the employer can abuse your lack of knowledge to underpay you. It's not. If everyone freely shared their salaries, everything would just be better. Because the workers who've been there a while are likely getting paid less than trainees. Because they don't believe in equal pay for equal work. If you are screwing over a few of your employees by not paying them fairly, they're less likely to find out if they don't discuss their compensation with each other. That is the one and only reason. It's not. But employers want us to think that it is. Because that preserves an imbalance known as information asymmetry, which favors the employer. Because the employer knows what a fair wage is, and what they're willing and able to pay, and the employee does not. It gives the employer all of the negotiating power. Employees discussing their wages corrects that imbalance, partially, by better informing the employees, so that they are able to negotiate better, fairer wages. That's why, in the US, Discussing wages is a federally protected right for the vast majority of employees. It's so the company doesn't have to be direct or consistent. People who perpetuate this have some sort of Stockholm syndrome, or they have a stake in suppressing salaries.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Heracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.